Hello, hello, hello. Hope you're having a good weekend because it's time for some more PAX East Final Fantasy panels. Wrapping up today with I got a tilted monitor here. There we go. Not a centered camera, I realize. There we go. We got the Final Fantasy 14 Dawntrail panel coming up here at PAX East. It's about an hour long, just like yesterday with the Final Fantasy 16 DLC panel. They in that panel they did hint at we would be getting more news, most likely the date about the 16 collaboration in Final Fantasy 14. So definitely expecting that. Maybe some new footage. They already have a nice trailer for that, so I don't know if they're going to give us any more or just replay the same trailer with a release date at the end of it. And the other widely expected news from today's event is the release date. However, caveat, Yoshi did say they do not want to repeat the mistake of Endwalker of having to delay it after announcing a release date. So there's a chance if they don't feel confident enough, even if it's coming out, in the next few months, that might not be today. So there's a chance there is no release date today. Just want to say, like, it's not like guaranteed, but them having a panel today, like, why would they choose to do a panel today if they didn't have something to announce? I feel like obviously it's a good opportunity to market the game and drum up interest, but at the same time, I feel like you got to have like some kind of like news. So that's why I think it's kind of expected that there'll be release date talked about today, and possibly showing off the collector's edition for people who are into that. I'm personally no longer into that type of stuff. I always do the digital version, get the digital special edition, collector's edition. Other than that, I'm not sure. It could just be a retread. Besides those 2 points, it could be a retread of what we already know. That is kind of the MO. Thank you. I'll hit the F5 key. Thank you. And you can tell me if the audio is too loud compared to me. Thanks, Karnith, for that heads up. Yeah, their MO is to, during live letters, is to recap old information in their slides, their PowerPoint slide presentation with the bullet points. So I'm expecting some of that. Even if it's like they got new stuff, there's definitely going to probably be some of that. So expect it to be like a mini live letter, I would imagine. But obviously they could talk about something new regarding Dawntrail as well. We've got the battle content. So maybe they'll describe more about the battle content. I don't think it'd have anything to show off other than maybe concept art. And same thing with like maybe the Echoes of Vana'diel Alliance raid. Maybe they've got some more concept art and some more details to share about that, possibly. The one thing I really do hope is not here. I know they're very proud of it. Please, dear Lord, be no graphical update comparison slides. No more. We are beyond that, please. Also, this is a 10-year journey in the title. I imagine we're gonna get some like looking back, like retrospective type, discussion. So we'll have to see. Just standing with a silhouette. I'm gonna crank this up a bit. He's revealing a new feature right now. Wait, what? Why is he? Wait, what? Wait, what are they doing? Are we doing a concert? Wait, what? I am so lost. Is it that dark? How are people taking pictures if it's that dark? That is a cool stage. So that's the main. This is the main stage. Yesterday they were in a different room for the DLC panel, but this got the main stage. So thank you, UV Cross, for the 33-month resub. I mean, Queen's Blood coming would be amazing, but I think they already announced that Queen's Blood's going to be spun off into maybe its own standalone thing, right? Or Square Enix is exploring that. I think it's probably more valuable than just putting it into 14. I think putting it as a standalone game on all devices would probably be a better use of that. And then if it ever burns out, adding it to 14 at some point, then I guess would be a good idea. I forgot. Luckily, I woke up earlier today because I thought there's in my mind. My mind was like, oh, it's at noon, but at like noon Eastern. I'm on East time, so I'm like, oh shit. So thankfully, I woke up at like 10 a.m. my time. And it started at 11. I was like, ooh, let me go rush and get ready and be good. It's also better because now I can, after we're done here, I get to eat earlier. I can go get my pizza. Have some pizza for lunch today. Excited. Had a cinnamon roll for. I did wake up at like 6:30 because my cat wakes me up for food. So I actually woke up at 6:30 for like 10 minutes. Fed my cat his food. Heated up a cinnamon roll I got yesterday for today, and then ate that, and it was very good. Although I'm gonna put a soft ban on pastries. It's my cheat day, but I think I need to take a break from sweets for a few weeks, even for cheat day. I think I will take. For me, sugar is worse than carbs, so I need to like not have so much sugar. Period. Cool if they made a Thronebreaker like Queen's Blood game in the world.
Hello, PAX East, and hello, Warriors of Light!
Oh, is this what's his face?
Thank you for coming. We're so excited to see you. It's been a jam-packed week. We had patch 6.58 drop earlier, and we also had our official launch on Xbox Series X and Series S.
That Xbox launch, man. That coin system.
All of our new sprouts as kindly as you can, and maybe have been picked up some extra poetics as you've been playing with them.
Welcome Xbox players,
that
but
said, we have a lot of fun news coming. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce to the stage the producer and director of Final Fantasy XIV, Naoki Yoshida!
Brandon Jones would point out they pronounce his name a little bit differently there. Whoa, what is that Chocobo shirt? Is that Kairi Chocobo? Who's the character on the Chocobo?
And thank you for watching.
Wait,
our live
what
stream.
the heck is that?
Yoshida, producer and director of Final Fantasy XIV.
What is that? I can't tell what that is.
Oh yes, hi. I'm
It's like a
Ivy from
playing
Square
card
Enix. I'll be helping
on a
Yoshida-san here
astronaut
with the
suit?
translations today.
Yes, Amy is wonderful. At most of the recent events I've been at, she's been doing the translations.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming to today's panel. Lots to be out here. It's like Fan Fest again.
Yeah, maybe you should do something like that. They do.
PAX East のメインステージから皆さん世界中の光の戦士たちと一緒にファイナルファンタジー14のここまでの申請してからの10年の歩みを振り返りつつ新しい情報それからこれからファイナルファンタジー14どうなっていくのかというあたりをお話しさせていただければと思います。
So for today's PAX main stage, of course, we would like to thank all of our players, our warriors of light around the world, looking back at the 10 years of Final Fantasy XIV.
Maybe.
And then also talk about some new stuff
they
that's
might
coming
show
up
that off,
and how
Maryland.
we're going to proceed from there.
I forgot. We might
改め
see
て
that.
こうやってこんな大きな会場でですねこんなにたくさんのプレイヤ
Seeing
ー
it
の
in
皆さん
action.
と一緒にこうステージでね盛り上がっていけるのは本当に皆さんのおかげです。ありがとうございます。
So yeah, just having this opportunity and having a venue to
Thanks,
speak
Pixelated.
about our title and get together with all of the players and just get excited is such an honor. So again, I just want to thank everybody, all our players.
That static crowd shot is kind of
2013年の
amusing.
ARR、レルムリボーンのリリースからここまで、累計アカウント数がどう変遷してきたかちょっと振り返ってみたいと思います。
Okay, so
Like
I'd
it's so
like to
high
take
angle.
a look at our trajectory since 2013's release of A
So
Realm
here's
Reborn
the
and the
recap
registered
part.
number of accounts.
Or the
レルムリボーンリリ
retrospective
ー
part.
スしてから400万人、
So we're probably gonna get an updated sub number
そ
or
して
something.
1000万人、1800万
Or
人
account
こう
number.
どんどん増えていきました。
So as
30.
you can see, we've seen an increase from 4 million to 10 million to 18 million.
The jump to Shadowbringers, though,
正
man.
直信じられない数字まで、
8
皆さんのおかげでこうバックアップ
And then
してもらったか
7 million
な
to
と思ってま
Endwalker.
す。
But yeah, we are truly blown away by these numbers. It's almost unbelievable to us, but it's just so wonderful to have so much a backup or support from you all.
今日この会場に 1.0 から遊んでるよっていう方どれぐらいいます？
I just want to see a show of hands.
So-
Who here has been playing since the original 1.0 Final
So there's a
Fantasy 4?
bigger
Oh,
jump
you're
to
right.
Shadowbringers.
Thank you.
From Stormbread to Shadowbringers and Shadowbringers to Endwalker. So the whole
Wonderful.
WoW exodus
That's good to
didn't even
see.
cause the
Thank you.
biggest account spike.
まあかなり
Maybe
ね厳しい
activity, but not
1.0 の
account.
ローンチでしたけど、本当にここまで信じてプレーをしてくださって改めてありがとうございます。
Yeah, we did start out really rough with the original 1.0 version, but I'm so glad that you believed in us and you continued to stick with us. So thank you again.
ではここからはちょっと各エクスパンションごとにどんな内容だったか皆さんと一緒に振り返っていきたいと思います。
So from here, I'd like to talk about the different expansions that we released and what we went through with each one.
まず最初、
Oh, they're spending a little bit more time on this than I thought they
フ
would.
ァイナルファンタジー14の立て直しからですね。
So first is A Realm Reborn when we sort of rebuilt Final Fantasy XIV.
覚えてる方たくさんいると思うんですけど、発売したのはいいんですが、非常にサーバートラブル多くてですね。
Is this their notes?
ダイアログあんま
But
見たくないです
sparse
よね。
content?
So when we first
This was
rebuilt
not like an
14,
actual live
of course,
letter note.
I'm
This
sure
is
a lot of you
for
may
this,
remember,
right?
but it's great that we were able to release the game. But with the server troubles and login issues,
All right.
you know, you see that all too familiar pop-up dialogue.
That queue is nothing
I know, I'm
compared to
sure nobody wants
Endwalker.
to see that again.
ただあれですよね。エンドウォーカーの時あれの
Yep.
3倍ぐらいの数字をね見ましたよね。
That said, those of you who tried to log in at the start of Endwalker, I'm sure the numbers in that error dialogue was much higher, maybe 3 times the number.
7.0 は多分サーバーたくさん増やしたんで大丈夫だ
Oh,
と、信じております。
But with at Dawntrail, we have increased the number of servers, so I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that this dialogue won't pop up for you guys.
And as I said before, they'll possibly deploy cloud servers to help temporarily.
そしてまあレルムリボーンというと結構忘れられないのがタイタンみたいなかなり尖ったコンテンツも多かったと思います。
And of course, with A Realm Reborn, I'm sure you will have some memorable encounters, including Titan, which was very challenging.
Well, hard mode didn't come right away. Came after
30
the
万
patch.
アカウントぐらい消滅した記憶がございます。
By the way, I remember the challenge of Titan was quite tough. So with his landslide, we may have lost about 300,000 registered accounts.
まああとはあれですね。覚えてます？ダークライトシリーズ。あれが最強の装備でしたね。
Dark light attire, or
Yep.
The armor.
Oh man,
Remember
the claws on the casters. I still have it. I still have the healer
そんなのがあっ
set.
て続いては蒼天のイシュガルドに移りました。
Okay, and with that, we released our first expansion,
That's
Heaven's
right.
Word.
Flying mounts.
なんといっても蒼天のイシュガルドから、レイドに
They
は
put the robot-
難易度のね
they put the
ノーマルとこう
robots
ハードみたいなもの
A6
が入って、まあいよいよ
A6
コン
is
テ
there.
ンツを少しずつこう多層化していくみたいなタイミングが
They
スタ
didn't
ート
dare
しま
put
した。
Pepsi Man on there, did
So
they?
with
Though.
Heaven's Word, we tried to look at the difficulty level of the different battles, encounters, dungeons. So with the raids, we incorporated the normal and savage tiers.
ただ我々にとっても非常に学びの多いエクスパンションで、プレイヤーの皆さんからの ARR のフィードバックでちょっとレイド簡単なんじゃないかなっていうフィードバックをたくさんいただいて
When people talk about Endwalker being like the worst,
was a lot of learning for us.
Yeah,
We
Heaven's
received
Ward
a lot of feedback after the release
out of the
of
gates
Realm Reborn,
was
and some of
great
it was,
story.
oh, isn't the raid just a little
very
too easy to
rough
get
in
through?
terms of balancing.
我々よし分かったじゃあ
Very rough.
難しくするかと
And so we were like, okay, fine, we get it. It was a little bit easy.
そしたらですねやりすぎだと
Yeah, because everyone was
Too much.
complaining.
So we adjusted it. We adjusted the difficulty level, and now everybody was saying, no, it's too hard. You did it too far.
Because there was a smaller player base and the raiding scene was smaller, so it was more hardcore people doing the raiding in Realm Reborn. So they were like, "This is too easy." Heaven's Ward, you saw, had
with
an
the feedback
explosion in
received,
people.
That is when we reviewed the
More
job
casuals tried to
mechanics
do it.
again and
Sorry.
the different abilities that were available and made adjustments accordingly.
そしてなんといっても、1.0 から僕
More new players came in Heaven's Ward, and they're like, "What is this? Why is this so hard?" Also,
開催できるようになった
not
年で
super
もありました
hardcore raiders like me
And
at the
of course,
time had trouble with like
we were
living
able to
liquid.
hold our very first fan festival this year.
さあこの1回目のラスベガスのファンフェス行ったよっていう方います
By the way, with the first fan festival, did any of you attend the very first Las Vegas fan festival?
I was invited to every fan fest, but only went to the
Oh,
last year's one.
thank you.
Last year's was my first one.
僕が一生で最も
Actually
緊
got
張した
invited
基調講演でした
This was the keynote presentation
year's,
where I was the most nervous.
London Fan Fest, and then a few before the pandemic, I got invited to one of the JP Fan Fests, but
スト
couldn't
ーンブラ
go.
ッドへ、時代が移っていきます
Next, we released the Stormblood
The job
expansion.
skill refinement was huge for this.
まあここは本当にたくさんのフィ
This
ードバックをい
was
ただいて
the beginning
まあ
of the
ジョブのメカニク
path
スそれから
towards
バトル
what
コン
we
テン
have
ツのメカ
now.
ニクスというところもかなり、発展試行錯誤が続いていったタイミングでもあります
This
And of
became the
course, we
blueprint.
continued to receive feedback, and we were able to look to that to adjust the different job mechanics as well as the battle
I have an I
mechanics.
survived
そ
for
れと同
Bond
時にコンテン
Extreme.
ツに関しても、今なおたくさんの方に遊んでいただいている例えばエウレカとか、多人数の大規模コンテンツを実装していったりいろんなチャレンジ、まあ、土間式麻雀もそうですねコンテンツが縦にばっかりじゃなくて横にこう広がっていくタイミングにもなりました
And of course, we tried to diversify our content as well, including large-scale multiplayer content like Eureka. I think some of you are still enjoying that content. Doman Mahjong is another thing. So not only did we sort of expand on the difficulty, now we're going for the breadth of content.
ちなみに当時エウレカのアップデートをプロデュースされたライブでやるたびに、チャットにはですね皆さんのこうズズズズズズっていうのが出てノーモアエウレカって書かれたんですよね
You know, and when we were talking about Eureka back at the time in like a live letter, and we looked at the chat, and a lot of people were going ZZZ, ZZZ, or no more Eureka.
まあでも
He's reminding all of you,
いろんなチャレンジをしてくるからこそ
all of you claiming, "Where's your- we want Eureka
コンテンツの広がりっていうのが
back."
あるんだというふうに
Everyone complaining about it.
今振り返るとねそういうふうに思える、拡張だったんじゃないかなと思います
But that said, because we took these risks and took on these challenges, that's why we were able to bring such variety of content.
そしてそれを経てシャドーブリンガーズへ続きます
And
I
of
would
course,
argue
we
this is
released
probably like
Shadowbringers.
this is the fan favorite, Shadowbringers.
特にですね「ファイナルファンタジー14」MMORPG ではありますが RPG としてどれだけこう
This is where I think they found their footing
それから
for
バトルの融合というのを、
like story beats.
目標にやってきたんですけどその、集
They've
大
had
成
good
に近いところが作
storytelling
れたん
before,
じゃない
but
かなと
I
思っ
think
てます
this is where they hit
And
their
so
sweet
with
spot.
this expansion, we kind of focused on the story and the RPG aspect of it and trying to blend together the narrative into some of the combat that you encountered. And we feel that we were able to start reaching that sort of culmination point as of Shadowbringers.
皆さんのおかげでですね本当 RPG としても、随分大きく成長させていただけたというふうに感じています
And I think because of your help, we were able to grow as an RPG as well.
でこの辺りからどんどん本当に多くのプレイヤーの皆さんが「フ ファイナルファンタジー14に訪れてきてくださることによってプレイヤーの皆さんのニーズっていうのもかなり様々になってきました。まあそこにいろんな形で対応していくという試行錯誤を始めたのも
I can't minimize. I don't want to minimize the screen, but how many people are watching this on their Twitch?
More players joining Final Fantasy 14,
I'm
and
curious what their
we
viewer
realized
count
that
is.
there are different needs for different players, and so that's when we started looking at accommodating for even more variety of content.
そしてそれを経てエンドウォーカーへとつながっていきます。
35,000.
And with all that, it connected into Endwalker.
こちらは MMORPG というね終わらない物語というか終わらない世界ではあるんですが、節目ということで1回目のストーリーフィナーレを目指すという形で皆さんに本当に物語と体験をお届けしてまいりました。
And of course,
Final Fantasy
Fantasy
saying
14, we are an
first grand finale.
MMORPG, which doesn't
like
technically end per se, but we tried to bring a sort of finale to a story arc at this time.
ただそれと同時にやっぱり RPG としてのストーリーの評価の高さというところもあって本当にたくさんの人に遊んでいただけるように特にソロコンテンツそれからソロでプレイすること、少人数で遊べるといったあたりのシステム開発にとにかく注力してきたタイミングでもあります。
And of course, we have a lot of people who enjoyed the story, and thankfully we had some really great acclaim about our story being very robust for an RPG, and a lot of people were able to join Final Fantasy 14. And with this expansion, we kind of focused in on solo content, those that can be enjoyed with either one person or a small group of people.
皆さんも辛抱強く待っていただいたおかげで ARR の時点からエンドウォーカーのラスト、それを超えてなおストーリーに関わるインスタンスダンジョンは全てコンテンツサポーターで、ソロでクリアできるというところまでようやくたどり着くことができました。
And so, of course, we implemented the duty support system so that players who want to enjoy the story and the encounters that are associated with it can go into these different dungeons by yourself. And we were able to backtrack and support content or duty support from ARR all the way to Endwalker.
世の中、ありがとうございます。
Oh, thank you, thank you.
世の中不思議なもので。やっぱりこうオンラインゲ
I
ー
guess
ム
small silver lining good news is there's no way they can recap all the Dawntrail news in 43 minutes.
始めとする MMO
So
手に取ってくださらない
it
方という
can't
のも
just be a
非常
recap
に
of
多いで
Dawntrail
す。
stuff after this.
It is kind of curious because even if this is an online game where typically it's necessary for people to work with other players to play, there are certain people who hesitate because they don't want that sort of interaction with other players, and so that's why they didn't try Final Fantasy 14.
ただ今回こういったソロ対応とかをやってくることによって、じゃあ遊んでみようかな、そしてゲームへ訪れてくださって皆さんの本当に温かいコミュニティの力に触れてどんどん光の戦士たち
Yeah, no people are wondering with like what they did with Dragon Quest X, which is
That
MMORPG.
said, with content duty support, of course, that also helped. But then the community welcomed these new peoples, and they were able to support them through their growth. And I think we were able to grow in numbers of our Warrior of Light. So I think that's also a great step forward as well.
Like Dragon Quest X, they made they're making an offline version of that. So people were, I think, even like myself, was wondering if they'd ever make an
with all that said,
offline
now
version
we're
of
striving
this.
for the future, which leads us to our next expansion.
They're doing the solo content, like such a focus on that.
さあこちらファイナルファンタジー14としては 7.0 と呼んでます。
So on the Final Fantasy 14
just
team,
summer.
internally, we call this 7.0.
Right.
サマー2024って書いてあるね。
So
We say summer 2024.
おい、リリースデートまだ出ないのか。
And I know people are saying, well, when are we going to find out about the release date?
he likes the troll. Just be careful.
大丈夫、もうちょっと後で話すから。
Don't worry, we will talk about it just later in the presentation.
See?
さあこの 7.0 ドントレイルから、さらにこの先10年間またいろんなチャレンジを皆さんと一緒にしていこうと思います。
So of course, this 7.0, aka Dawntrail, is our next challenge in the 10 years moving forward.
その10年次の10年に際して我々が、まず最初にチャレンジしていこうと思っていることがこちらです。
So one of the first challenges we want to take on for the next 10 years is going to be this.
So I wonder if we get some like broad stroke updates here.
シリーズで、たくさんのカジュアルプレイヤー、ソロプレイヤーたちを迎える準備というのができましたので、
Before every expansion, they like to give us a
ここからは
roadmap,
改めて MMORPG としてさらに、
like a
高み
loose
を目指し
roadmap
て
for
進
the
化にチ
future.
ャレンジをしていこうと思います。
So, of course, throughout 6.0 Endwalker, through the 6.x patch series, we were making different preparations to welcome in those
I don't think they
more
publicly give
casual
out the media
leading
tour
players
dates.
or people who wanted to enjoy content.
But those of us
by
who have gone,
themselves
we can
solo. So
do the
with
math and
Dawntrail,
figure out
we
when the
want to
media
aim
tour will be,
for,
when they give a release date.
evolving as an MMORPG.
さあではじゃあ具体的にどういうことなのというのをざっくりコンセプト方針を
But
お
there
話し
should
してい
be
きます。
a media
So,
blowout.
I'd like to go through what we're thinking about specifically in a sort of
Like when they show off the new, like all
overview of our
the new job
concept.
actions.
まずその一つ目、マルチプレイという部
Refined
分を
multiplayer
さらに強化
gameplay.
していこうと思います。
This,
So of course, we would like to focus in on multiplayer aspect as one of those things.
I mean, this has been
それ
a
に際して
actual legitimate
ラ
complaint.
ジスケール、単純にで遊べる
Yeah, that's the magic word right
So with
there.
that,
That's the
we would
magic
like
word.
to
There we
refine
go.
to tackle on more large-scale duties.
What's
と、
one more? Can you go 3 for 3? 3 for 3?
大型の探索コンテンツと
What's that
いうのを
third
開
line
発
gonna
をすで
be,
にスタ
baby?
ートしています。
So content that kind of are in the same vein of Eureka or Bosnia is going to be in the works.
There you go.
まあこの辺りもちろんまだ公表してないコンテンツというのも開発、スタートしてたりはするんですが、とにかくファイナルファンタジー14というゲームたくさんの、価値観のプレイヤーに遊んでいただけているその力を今回 7.0 以降 7.1、7.2 でこうみんなで遊ぶっていうことをさらに突き詰めていけたらなと思ってます。
And so there are lots of content we're trying to develop right now. Some of them that may not be mentioned here today in today's presentation, but we understand that there are a lot of different values that people hold as they are playing
Talk about
Final
the
Fantasy
roguelike
14. So we
mode.
want to also focus in on
light.
large-scale
Not
content,
not
multiplayer
deep dungeon.
content,
Make it- they gotta
as we
get-
go
they gotta make a new
through,
one, right?
7.1 and 2 and beyond.
まあもちろん
16's
その
got
6.x
one.
シリーズ
We gotta get
バ
one
リアントダンジョ
14.
ンみたいな少人数で遊
New
ぶコ
one.
ンテンツっていうのもそのシステム開発しっかりできましたので、それらをやらないというわけじゃなくて、そういったコンテンツもやりながらさらにラージスケールのコンテンツも作っていきます。
No, but like,
Of course, we're not neglecting the solo or smaller scale content, like the variant dungeons. We will continue to update
Yeah,
that.
they said they were gonna keep
and
doing
so it's going
variant.
to be more in parallel. We're going to have the smaller scale content versus the large
although I really hope
participating
they would
content as well.
explore
そしてもう一つ
some
重要なポイン
changes
ト
with
がこ
variant
ち
and
らです。
criterion.
And another important element that I want to cover is this.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
遊びごたえの強化というのに
I mean,
ちょっ
that's
と改めて意
good,
識的に取り組んでいきたいなと
it's kinda
思ってます。
So of course, a more fulfilling gaming experience is how we worded it, but we want to kind of focus in on this as well.
例えばまあ本当に世界中たくさんのプレイヤーの方のフィードバックから、まあ、我々こうじゃあこの遊びごたえって何かっていうとこうボスのターゲットサークルがこうやけくそにこうでかくなっていったりとか。
So, for example, this is one of the many feedback that we have received that kind of relates to that fulfilling gaming experience. For example, the target circle of your enemy, the hitbox, is ridiculously large at this point.
あとこうギミックの内容に関してもちょっと似たようなものが増えてきて
Please don't get rid of
実
tab
際にプ
targeting.
レイしていてもちょっとまたこのパターンなのかとか、まあ、もちろんなんだろうこう経験が積みやすいから楽ではあるんですけど実際にちょっと自分でプレイしてても眠くなってくるなっていうのがあったりしてます今。
And in terms of battle mechanics, they tend to be very similar content to content. And some people might feel that it's very repetitive, feels like a pattern almost. And of course, it might help if you are trying to build your gameplay experience and try to get a hang of it. But for some players, me included, I kind of get sleepy because it kind of gets routine, mundane.
Did he literally just go, content is Z, 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 Z?
ちょっと疲れてると眠がっちゃうってなるんで、もうちょっとエキサイトメントを高めていきたいと思います。
You know, we rarely fall asleep when we're playing games if we're really into it, but then sometimes when I get too tired, it's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna.
This is the stress stuff,
so
honest.
I'm trying to see if
this is what he's talking about.
Spice it up a little, bring the excitement back.
This is what they mean, not difficulty necessarily, but predictability.
You.
こういう話をすると、
Here.
やばい、吉田また難易度を上げようとしてるって思う方たくさんいらっしゃいます。
When I talk about something like this, I know some people might get a knee-jerk reaction of, oh no, Yoshida is going to make everything difficult again.
See? Here. Pay attention. He's clarifying right now.
まあ基本的にね、
He's talking about
皆さんを困らせたいっていうわけじゃない。
making things interesting,
もっともっと興奮してもらうために、
not necessarily difficult.
もっともっと新しいギミック、オリジナリティのあるものっていうのを作っていきたい。
Yeah, people just run with this shit and like totally get it
And
wrong.
so for the most part, we're not trying to trouble people. We're trying not to make your lives difficult. It's just we want to bring a little bit more uniqueness, something that is new and original into these battles. So rest assured.
まあちょっと日本語なので難しいかもしれないですけど、もう少しプレイヤーの皆さん一人一人が工夫する余地、自分だからこれができたみたいな遊びごたえをちゃんと作っていきたいと。
BA is not ZZZZZ.
So in the Japanese word, there's this word kufu, which loosely translates to kind of thinking with your own mind and kind of figuring it out. So I think we want to encourage players to build your own strategies, kind of talk to each other in your party to strategize and kind of encourage that kind of gameplay also.
I mean, that's what BA and DR
いろんなチャレンジ
are.
をさらにこう
That's that type of content.
リ
That's
ス
that
クも
like
取りながらやっていこうと
makes
思う
you
の
do
で、
that.
まあ時折失敗してね、皆さんに怒られることもあるかもしれません
For
が、
example, Alliance
だん
raid
だん慣れ
where
てきてしまった
raising is
14
not
を今一
automatic.
度エキサイト持って楽しめるように、
It's not necessarily
さらに
harder, just
拡大させていこうというの
more
が
stressful.
当面の目標になります。
And so, of course, we would love to take challenges. I would like for my developers to be able to take on challenges, take risks in creating their content. And of course, we may screw up. We may have a misstep, and we might be up here apologizing to our players once again. But you know, we don't
Twisters
want
2.0.
things to be mundane. We want you guys to be excited as you play Final Fantasy XIV.
まあこうなるとジョブはどうなるのかっていう心配がきっとあると思うんですが、
add world PvP.
And I'm sure with this kind of talk, it might beg the question, like, well, so what's going to happen to the different jobs and their mechanics?
まあジョブに関してはせっかく節目のねレベル100が来るので、今何かを大きくめちゃくちゃバトルメカニクスも含めていじるってことは 7.0、7.x シリーズではしません。今の延長線上にちゃん
Lion
とアップデー
Platform
トを行いま
2.0,
す。
So because we are reaching a sort of milestone level cap, which is level 100, it's not we don't intend to upset everything again. We want to just continue updating the different jobs and kind of add on to what we already have set up throughout the 7.0 and
I think
7.x
the reason they can't go too radical is because there's so many jobs, and we're getting 2 more. We're going to keep getting new jobs. There's only so much bandwidth people can have.
So, of course, we're going to be focusing on the content itself and the encounters.
Yeah, I don't think
throughout,
that this is
7.1
job
3 to bring
rotations,
back that
2-minute
sort of
meta. I
excitement.
don't think is
まあ
changing.
遊び応えとかチャレンジ増やすのいいけど、なんかちょっとメリットもうちょっとくれよっていうお声あると思います。
And so we talked about how we're going to bring back excitement to the content itself, but you know, well, what's in it for me?
我々今取り組んでいるのが
Are you gonna talk about rewards finally?
獲得していただくリワードというものを
Yes!
大幅に増や
Let's
し
go!
ていこうという枠を作り始めてます。
Yeah.
So with that, we are looking into sort of improving the rewards so that, yeah, we can sort of bolster that aspect of it.
これまで ARR からここに至るまでなかなかこの1パッチあたりのリワード、例えば装備ギアとかもっとたくさんのマウントとか、なかなかここまで増やせないで来れたんですが、いよいよここから先コンテンツの幅も量もかなり増えましたので、皆さんにお届けする報酬というのもさらに量を増やしていこうと思ってます。
And so with the different expansions throughout, since we released ARR up to this point, we were unable to increase the number of rewards per patch that we give in terms of gear or mounts. And so looking to the future,
I think people might want to know the why about that.
And broad we have become with the different content that we offer. We would like
I think
to
that's
look
the
into increasing the
question.
amount of rewards that we are providing.
Is
our
like why.
players.
7.1 から徐々に
But
増
this
や
is
していく
great
今
news.
計画になっていて、おおよそ 7.3 ぐらいの時には今の1パッチあたりの報酬が 1.5 倍ぐらいまで増やせるんじゃないかなと思います。
So the plans are in place. So our goal is that by patch 7.3-ish, we would have maybe 1.5 times more compared to current.
Okay, so 50% more.
まあたくさんの皆さんから、たくさんね利益もいただいてますので、さらに還元してとにかく皆さんと一緒にさらにこう14盛り上げていこうと思いますので、どうぞよろしくお願いします。
So with your subscriptions and just continuing to stay with us, we have collected from you. So we want to give back. So we want to continue looking into things like this.
さあそれらの
I think the only thing they could say at this point that'd make more people happy is like talk about making gearing easier, and that would be like people would go nuts. Like it'd be like the trifecta.
So Dawntrail, I know we've announced many information, but just wanted to do a very quick recap of what we've already talked about.
There's a recap.
新しい状
I get the
況、
recap.
バイパーとピクトマンサー実装されますね。
It's very. This
Of
is
course,
nice.
two new
This
jobs,
is nice.
Viper and Pictomancer.
レベルキャップもついにレベル100に到達、まあ節目になりますね。
And level cap will be increased to level 100, which is sort of a milestone for us.
ただそろそろ我々 8.0 のことも考えなきゃいけないので、110にするのか120にするのか150にするのか、一旦全部50に戻そうか、いろんなことを話し合い始めてます。
That said, we also have to start looking into what should we do for 8.0, and do we raise it just another 10 levels, 20 levels, 50 levels? Or do we just reset everything and go back to 50?
まあでもそれぐらいやっぱ長期計画を持ってね、さらにこの先10年20年と続けていきたいので、まあいろんなことをもうすでに計画をし始めてます。
That said, jokes aside, we are looking into a long-term plan. That's why we're trying to also look at what would it look like 10 years, 20 years from now.
そして、ありがとうございます。
Oh, thank you.
そして改めてですね、Xbox ファンの皆さんに大変お待たせしましたが、Xbox でもつい先日ですね、正式にローンチをすることができました。
I am too, Tanuki.
And of course, Xbox players, thank you so much for your patience. We were able to release the Xbox version of Final Fantasy XIV.
Don't worry. At Media Tour, I'll ask if it's coming to Switch too, and we'll start this all over again.
まあ当然新しいエリア多数ありますし、まあ新しい敵も多数出てきます。そして多数のダンジョン、新しいものを用意されてます。
And of course, we can't forget the new areas, new threats, new dungeons we have prepared for you.
当然新しいレイドも始まりますし、先ほどお話ししたように、プレイヤーみんなで遊ぶというコンセプトで、さらにね、コスモエクスプローラー、ちょっと惑星をね、皆さんで開拓探索してもらうみたいなコンテンツ、いよいよかなり仕様も固まって、制作がスタートできそうな状態になってます。
And so, of course, we have the new raid that's going to be coming. And then as for the large-scale content where everybody can participate would be the Cosmic Explorer, where you're on a planet trying to explore and develop. So I think we have our systems kind of drafted in place, and so we are getting ready for production on that.
So こんなさまざまなチャレンジと要素を詰め込んだファイナルファンタジー14 7.0 の16 Dawntrail.
So of course, with a lot of challenges that we're taking for the new Final Fantasy XIV expansion, not 16, 7.0.
There you go. Good date, baby. June 28th. All right. Woo! So that means Media Tour will probably be in May.
大変長らく
Probably
お
early
待た
May.
せいたしましたが、ファイナルファンタジー14、ドントレイル6
This is
月
great.
28日アーリーアクセススタート、そして7月2日正式発売という形で、今最終調整を、最後のね開発の追い込みをやっているところです。
So thank you so much for your patience.
Wait,
I know we waited
isn't
for a
that the
long
same
time
date
to
as
announce
Elden
this,
Ring?
But we are happy to say that we are planning to
Wait.
start early access on June 28th and
Wait, is that
official
the same
release
day as
on
Elden
July
Ring?
2nd, and we're making our final adjustments on those.
Oh, so I have 1 week to beat Elden Ring. Okay. I have 1 week to beat Elden Ring. Okay.
アーリーアクセス本当はもう1週間前に
1 week to beat Elden Ring DLC.
So with this early access start date,
Yeah, right.
we actually wanted to start it a week earlier.
Oh, but Elden Ring.
Elden
Say
Ring
Elden.
DLC.
Respect Elden Ring. Elden Ring. Yes.
まあ皆さんもエルデンリングのね DLC やりたいでしょうから。
Yep.
We figured everybody would be interested in playing the Elden Ring DLC.
Yeah. See, 1 week. Very
それが1週間で
generous.
す
I'll give you 1 week.
We get 1 week. Oh, that's pretty good.
ですので1週間どっぷりエルデンリングの DLC 楽しんだらもうそのままサマーバケーションへ突入してください。
So I'll give you 1 week to enjoy Elden Ring DLC, and then just go into your summer vacation into Dawntrail.
So your final exams are Elden Ring DLC.
Just want to make it clear, it's not because I want to play Elden Ring DLC and then play Dawntrail.
いやもちろん楽しみですけど
Although I am looking forward to it.
さあでは、リリース日それからアーリーアクセスの日付を発表したのでちょっとコレクターズエディションを紹介させていただきます。
So because we have discussed the release date, I would like to touch upon the collector's edition.
Here we go.
So if we could have the,
持ってきて。
we want to show the content of what the physical collector's edition entails.
God. Oh my gosh. He just threw it down.
まずコレクターズエディション、まあここに全部物理でね、持ってきたんですけど、今回、フィギュアがまたついてます。今回バイパーの、光の戦士、ハイクオリティフィギュアになっております。
Okay,
rage
so
quit
getting
the
into the
gloves.
contents of the physical collector's edition, as you can see, we have our high-quality Viper figure.
そして冒険には欠かせない今回、新たなファイナルファンタジー14のマップですね。
Yes, we can't forget our map of the realm.
そしてちょっと待ってくださいね。
Hold on, let me neatly put this away.
Yoshi folding skills on display.
そして、光の戦士たちが冒険でね使ってる愛用
Little
の
notebook,
機構録を今回ね
Looks like a
プチアイテムとして
passport, though.
作ってみました。
Okay, next is the unending journey as a journal form.
Oh, yeah, duh.
でまあこちらね当然中身皆さんで埋めてってください。
So of course, it is literally a journal, so you can note down your adventures in this book.
そして続いてがですねこちら何かというと
Leather pouch?
ちょっと古風な、ペン入れになってます。
And so this, it's actually sort of like a vintage-looking pen case.
かなりこだわってね、
okay.
作りましたので、まあ、冒険者感というのを大事にしながら作ってます。
But yeah, we were really meticulous about the design of this pen case, kind of replicating that feeling of an adventurer taking his sort of writing utensils and storing it into this kind of envelope.
で、まあこう巻いてですよ。
You can roll it up.
巻いてですよ。
And roll it up.
まあこれでこう。
And it has a string that you can close it with.
まあなのでペンだけじゃなくてねいろんなもの収納してねこうバッグに持ち運びやすいように、なってます。
So of course, you can utilize this for not just pens, but any sort of stick-like objects to put in there.
そしてちょっと待ってくださいね。手袋した方がいいか
Actually,
な。
this one we might want to wear gloves, or do we?
もちろんこの天野先生のね最新書き下ろしのドントレールのとこの特装ボックスついてきます。
Of course, we haven't forgotten the decorative art box featuring the wonderful artwork of Mr. Yoshitaka Amano.
He's doing it on purpose. Stop. Stop blinding me.
はい。というわけでちょっとコレクターズエディションの今回物理アイテムですねご紹介しました。
Blinded by light.
IL 上げるからね。
So these are the physical components of the collector's edition. Sorry, let me put my accessories back on to get my eye level up. Okay.
さあじゃあまあコレクターズエディションがねこんな感じになってます。
This is our collector's edition.
What's the digital stuff? Where's the mount? What's the mount?
まあ今紹介した内容一覧になっておりますのでぜひさあコレクターズエディション物理どうしようかなと悩んでいただければと思います。
So, and this is a list of the physical items that will be included in the collector's edition.
Yoshi P's accessories is hinting at 10 years from now how many accessories we'll have.
Your consideration would be definitely appreciated.
Just kidding.
ありがとうございます。お、ちょっと聞いてみようかな。ちなみに ARR から全部のコレクターズエディション持ってるぞっていう方いらっしゃいますか？
Just out of curiosity, who here has collected all of the collector's editions since ARR?
すごい。ありがとうございます。
Oh my gosh.
Thanks.
欲しい。
面白いのがね、スクエニのスタッフも手を挙げてるのがちょっと面白い。
I just noticed that some of our Square Enix staff also raised their hands, which is very interesting.
個人的に買ってくれてありがとうね。
Thank you so much for your purchase.
さあここまでちょっと物理、アイテムの紹介をしましたので、ここからは、デジタルのコレクターズエディションのアイテムをご紹介したいと思います。
Okay, so we went over the physical items in the collector's edition. Next, I would like to talk about the digital items.
その前にそれに関係する動画をちょっと短いですけどご覧いただこうと思います。
So in relation to that, we brought a short video to show you. Please roll video.
Show us the mount in action. Let's go. Really? Dude! This is awesome! It's the cruise chaser animation, but awesome. Oh, there you go. Yeah, it's Final Fantasy IX expansion. There you go.
今ご覧いただいたのが、デジタルのコレクターズエディションインゲームアイテム、マウントのアークとなります。
So yeah, the video that you've seen,
chocobo
it's pretty self-explanatory, but one of the digital items that you can receive in the collector's edition is the Arc mount.
そしてその後で歓声上がったのはきっとガーネットのミニオンがついてくるからかなと思います。
And then I'm sure people had cheered for that Garnet minion too.
そして武器の方は、新しく追加となるピクトマンサーの、武器である筆、そのチョコボの筆と、もう筆すでに用意してくれてる人いる。
So of course, with the Pictomancer being implemented, the glam weapon is going to be the Chocobo's brush. And I see in the audience somebody already has a Pictomancer brush.
すごい。
That's amazing.
完璧にクルルさんになって。
Oh, it's Cryo. Oh, thank you. Perfect.
こちらがデジタルアイテムのコレクターズエディションですので、ちょっとここで SKU の説明だけ簡単にしておきます。
So again, these are the digital items, but we do have a kind of complex sort of SKU lineup. So allow me to explain.
基本的にはエンドウォーカーと同じなんですが、ちょっとおさらいしておきましょう。
So the setup is just like our last stage in Endwalker, but just wanted to go over this really quickly.
まず Windows それから Mac、Steam を除く Windows と Mac 版でプレイされている方で、コレクターズエディションを買うぞという方は、一番上のコレクターズエディションを買っていただければ、ゲームもついてくるし、さっきご紹介した物理アイテムもついてくるし、今ご紹介したインゲームアイテムもついてきます。
They're just trying to give you as many
So if you are
options
playing
as possible.
on a Windows or Mac, not Steam, I'm sorry, but that would be the top row where you see that collector's edition. This is the whole bundle where the game, the expansion, the physical goods, and the in-game items come in one package.
そしてプレイステーション4、プレイステーション5、Xbox、そして Steam でプレイされている方で、さっきご紹介した物理の、コレクターズ購入されたい方はグッズだけのボックスというのがあるので、それとこの下にあるデジタルコレクターズエディションを購入していただければどっちも手に入るようになってます。
So if you are playing on a PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X or S, or Steam, so we have the physical items packaged by themselves as a collector's box, and then the digital items would be bundled into the digital collector's edition.
そしてもういいんだと。物理はいいんだと。
Basically, if you're not on PC or Mac, you have to do row 2 and 3 if you want everything.
を買っていただければ大丈夫です。
And if you just want the digital items, you don't care about the physical items, just give me the Arc mount, then you can go for the digital collector's edition.
Yeah, that's what I do.
そして最後、スタンダードエディション、何もついてこないノーマルのパッケージです。
And then finally, we have our standard edition. This is just the expansion.
多分この会場にいる方と配信をご覧の皆様にはスタンダードエディションは多分関係ないです。
And so for those people who are enthused about our collector's edition, I think the standard edition will not really pertain to you.
さあというわけで、ちょっとね複雑に SKU になっていますが、これら改めて、ウェブサイトの方でも詳細説明されますので、ご確認いただければと思います。
So yeah, I understand it's a bit complicated, so we will be having a website set up so that it explains the different lineups. So if you wanted to get more details, we encourage you to look at that page.
あと1個注意点ですが、ファイナルファンタジー14はエンドウォーカーからもう一切物理パッケージを作っていないので、お店に行ってもドントレール売ってないのでご注意ください。
And another point of caution, and you may be familiar with this, since Endwalker, we have not produced a physical disc version of the game or the expansion itself. So please be warned, if you go into like a game retailer, you will not find the standard edition disc there anymore. It's all digital download only.
はい、忘れないようにしておいてください。
Okay.
では 7.0グラフィックスのアップデートを行うということで、特に皆さんの環境、アップグレードというかね、必須動作環境等々変わってますので、改めてちょっとご紹介させてください。
So of course, with the different updates that we're making, including the graphical update, I'm afraid we will have to adjust the system requirements.
Oh, this is just, yeah.
これまでにお話ししてきた部分とちょっと一箇所だけ変更をさせていただけると助かります。
Wait, why is
which is
that
the
crossed
singular
out? Oh, I
point
see.
on this chart of system requirements.
Windows の環境で CPU、必須動作環境の中に Intel Core i7 の6700というふうに表記させていただいてたんですが、ここを7700にちょっと変更させてください。
So originally on the Windows platform, the minimum system requirements indicated Intel Core i7 6700 series or higher. We are going to be bumping it up to require the 7700 series.
なぜかというと、この6700という CPU と特定のグラフィックスボードの組み合わせの時、極端にパフォーマンスが落ちるっていう非常にそのグラフィックスカードと CPU の相性の悪さみたいなのが発見されたので、あともう一つ6700が、昨年で Windows のサポートが終了するっていうのが発表されたこともあって、この先10年さらにということを考えるんであれば7700とさせていただいた方が分かりやすいのかなというふうになってます。おそらく皆さん大丈夫だと思うので、ここだけご注意ください。
So there are a couple of reasons why we had to bump this up. One is because with some combinations, the CPU and the graphics board seems to have seen issues in performance. So that's one reason. And then it seems there was an announcement that the 6700 will no longer be supported on the Windows platform. And it was announced last year that that support was ending. So we figured that it was better to bump it up so that we'll have a supported CPU. So I'm hoping that everybody is okay on their machines, but just in case, you might want to double check your CPU.
そしてすごいちょっと重要なんですけど、
Yeah, it being
HDD ハードディスクの
discontinued.
容量はできるだけたくさん開けといてください。
And another thing, the HDD available disk space. I hope you are able to secure enough space for the game to be downloaded onto your machine.
Hey, I mean,
今回
Rebirth
グラ
was
フィックスアップデートによって
150 gigs
非
or
常に
whatever.
高解度のテクスチャーとかがこれまでにリリースしてきたアイテム全部にどんどんかかっていくので、ちょっとパッチサイズ、ゲームサイズ非常に大きくなりますので、ぜひご注意ください。
With the graphical updates, a lot of high-res materials will need to be downloaded into the game, and so the patch size, the expansion size, will be quite big. So please be advised.
そしてお待たせしました、こちらが Mac 版の、必要動作環境となっております。Mac でプレイされている方もですね、ぜひこちら、ウェブサイトの方にもしっかり載せますので、ご確認いただければと思います。
And of course, for those of you who play on the Mac platform, we have updated the requirements on that as well. Again, we will have a website available to reference for these different details of your machine specs.
はい。では、発売日もアーリーアクセスも発表したので、じゃあプレオーダーいつからだというお話をさせていただきます。
Okay, so we announced the early access and release dates, so let's go into pre-ordering the expansion.
まずは当然プリオーダーしたら何がもらえるのかからいきます。
And of course, we'd like to talk about the bonus items that you will receive when you pre-order.
Oh, yeah.
プリオーダー予約を
So the
していただ
bonus
く
EXP
と
earring.
ミニオンジタンとそれからアクセサリーアーゼマ
Because the earring is an EXP earring that lets people catch
皆
up.
さんにお届けします。
So, of course, when you pre-order, these are the in-game items that you would receive: a Zidane minion and then an Azuma earring.
ここまでやたらと露骨なファイナルファンタジー9推しですが、なぜなのかは言わないでおきます。
You may have noticed a lot of Final Fantasy IX references here, but the reason is a secret.
こちらのアーゼマイヤリングに関しては、レベル90まで、モンスターを倒した時の討伐経験値が 30% アップしますし、プレイヤーのジョブのレベル、クラスのレベルが上がれば性能も自動的に上がっていくという、アイテムになっていますので、レベリングに非常に最適になってます。
So of course, with the Azuma earrings, this is similar to the last pre-order bonus, but whenever you defeat an enemy, the experience points that you receive will have a 30% boost. And then the stats on the accessory itself will also kind of scale as your player is leveling your character. So it does become quite advantageous when you're trying to level your character.
はい。そしてプレオーダーの特典としてアーリーアクセスの権利が皆さんに付与されます。
So of course, if you pre-order the expansion, you will have early access.
で、ちょっと忘れないでくださいね。今回の拡張が初めての14の拡張って方もいらっしゃると思うんで。
So of course, I do want to caution you because there may be some of you who are purchasing an expansion for the first time with Dawntrail.
予約をしないとアーリーアクセスの権利がないので、やったー6月28から遊べるって言って予約を忘れてると、みんなこうバーって夏休み行ってるのに自分だけ7月2日まで待たなきゃいけなくなるので注意してくださいね。
So you need to make sure you have pre-ordered the expansion in order to gain early access. So if you don't pre-order, while everybody's going on summer vacation, June 28th, and you realize, wait, I haven't pre-ordered, so you have to wait until the actual release, which is July the 2nd. So if you want early access, you might want to pre-order.
ではプレオーダーその予約開始日に関してですが、来週スタートします。
Tuesday.
So pre-orders will
Good.
begin
11
next
a.m.
week.
Normal time for me.
Steam も、この日からスタートするんですが、Steam 版以外は予約サイトがねそれぞれの時間で開くのでチェックしていただきたいんですが、Steam 版は全世界同時に、PTD に9時に開くので、ご注意ください。
So of course, the Steam version will be one set time globally. So it's on the disclaimer down there at 9 a.m. PDT. But the rest is local time, 9 a.m. Let's see, America would be West Coast time. But
そしてさっきご紹介した、ちょっと待ってね。この2つのアイテムはプレオーダーしていただいたのが確認でき次第、レターモーグリがすぐに皆さんのところに運びに行きますので、7.0 を待たずに、アイテムをお届けしますので、ぜひ早めの予約をお願いいたします。
And of course, the in-game bonuses that you receive with pre-ordering will be delivered to you via delivery Moogle as soon as we are able to confirm the pre-order. So you are able to access these before the expansion launches.
So you know his outfit is in the game, right? It's an old legacy reward. You still can get it.
ね、ちょっと不安なのが、
They added achievement points.
予約サイトがダウンしなきゃいいなっていう。
So you
The
can
only
get
concern that we
his
have
outfit.
is I hope the pre-order site doesn't crash again.
あとこうレターモーグリたちがもう無理かも疲れたくぽってちょっとね遅れる可能性もあるんで。
And our poor delivery Moogles, they may be like, oh, I'm so tired, Kupo.
まあいずれにせよちょっと予約をしていただいた方から順次アイテムすぐにねお届けしてまいりますので、ぜひ予約の方よろしくお願いします。
That said, we will be delivering these in-game items as we confirm your pre-order.
Right.
So,
I think we're about at the
we
end
would
here, so I think
encourage you
the last
to
thing they
do
might
so.
say is the 16 event.
さあでは、1時間にわたっていろいろお話ししてまいりましたが、ドーントレイルのお話はこの辺までかなと。
So yeah, we had about 1 hour to speak about our new expansion. So I think that kind of wraps up discussion about our Dawntrail expansion.
16 time.
ただですね、昨日PAX イーストの方でですね、ファイナルファンタジー16の、パネルがございました。
That said, I know there was a panel on Final Fantasy 16 just yesterday.
パネルを見ていたらですね、ファイナルファンタジー16のプロデューサーの吉
My
田
guess
P がですね、
is
And in that panel, the
April
producer,
2nd?
Yoshida,
クロスオーバークエストの開始日、
I'm guessing
よし
April
発表して
2nd.
いいよって言ってくれたんで、
mentioned that, oh yeah, Final Fantasy 14 producer director, you're welcome to announce the crossover quest line release date.
というわけで7月2日
Yep,
から
April 2nd. Oh, it's limited time. Oh yeah, duh.
So that April 2nd is going to be the date that the crossover quest line will become available.
まあ約1ヶ月ですね、4月入ったらすぐにスタートしますので、ぜひぜひご期待ください。
So it will begin as soon as we enter the month of April. So I hope you take a look.
まだまだ16、PC 版を楽しみにお待ち、くださっている方もいるというふうに思いますので、今回のクロスオーバークエストは、16のストーリーの物語の序盤とのクロスオーバーになっているので、極端な強いネタバレはできるだけしないように、でも報酬が豪華になるように一生懸命14チームと16チーム力を合わせて作りました。
And of course, we understand that there are players of Final Fantasy 16 who are looking forward to the PC release. So we don't want to spoil the story for those who are on 14 who are waiting for 16. So the crossover content kind of covers like the first part of the game without any spoilers. But we have made sure that the rewards are very robust. So I hope you look forward to that.
Interesting.
ようやく本当長く引っ張りましたが、実装日お知らせできたので、各言語ウェブサイトで特設ページ開いていくと思います。
And of course, it did take a while, but the team worked really hard, and we were able to announce the implementation date. So I believe we do have landing pages, web pages that give us the details on these.
まあクエストのスタートがどこなのか、どんな報酬がもらえるのか、細かい情報すべてウェブサイトの方に記載されておりますので、ぜひこの講演が終わってページが開いたら内容チェックよろしくお願いします。
I think you will be able to find details about, say, where the quest giver is and things like that. So once the page does open up, if it hasn't already, we encourage you to take a look.
さあでは1時間にわたって、PAX イーストの会場からお届けしてきた14のステージですが、そろそろ終わりの時間となりました。
All right, I think that we are approaching the end of this presentation, actually.
これ以上スポイラーで話せないんだって。
No, there's too much spoilers. I can't avoid spoilers. So.
Oh God.
ごめんごめん。
No.
歓声しか聞こえない。
I'm sorry, I only heard the cheers. I was curious to know what that guy was saying.
何何何 What?
あ、ジョブアクショントレーラー。
ごめんごめん。今作ってるから。
We are still in the process of making that though.
Sorry. まあいよいよ今日発売日、アーリーアクセス発表できたので、5月上旬からは世界中を回ったメディアツアー始まるので、そこから多数の情報もちろん出ていきます。
So yeah, today was the announcement for the release timing, and so we will be conducting a media tour towards the beginning of May-ish, and we do plan on revealing more information in the lead up to
beginning of May.
そして4月には、久しぶりにはなりますが、プロデュースされたライブも行って、いよいよグラフィックスアップデートの内容を実機Dawntrailのクライアントを使いながら細かいところかなり説明していこうと思います。
And of course, in April, we plan to do another letter from the producer live to talk about the graphical updates, utilizing actual in-game, using in-game.
もう本当に今開発佳境に入っているので、正直僕このPAXイーストの会場の隣のホテルでジョブのチェックしてたりするんで。
But yeah, the team is working really hard, and I think we're reaching the peak of our development production. And I actually am also reviewing the materials that come up and in my hotel room.
I went to check my email to see if there's a media tour
なので
invite.
それぐらい一生懸命作ってますんで、もうちょっとお待ちください。
Probably not yet. They'll probably go out in
So the
April.
team is working really hard. So just a little bit more of your patience would be definitely
Too
appreciated.
soon. Too soon.
さあでは最後に改めまして本当に、ARR から数えると、丸10年、そして 1.0 から数えるとね、もう13年にわたって本当に世界中たくさんの人にサポートしていただいて14ここまで来れました。
So once again, I would like to just look back at the 10 years of ARR, and if you count it from the original 1.0, 13 years, just how much support we've received from players around the world, and just how appreciative I am of you all.
まあ我々がね本当にここまで歩んでこれたのは本当にプレイヤーの皆さん、光の戦士の皆さんのおかげです。
And the reason why we were able to get this far in our journey is just truly because of the players, our warriors of light.
ぜひですね、これから今日お話ししたように、さらにこの先10年、20年、僕がちょっと死んじゃって機会になるかもしれないですけど、そうなったとしても14続けていけるように、皆さんと一緒に引き続き歩いていきたいと思います。
But yeah, we will continue to strive forward, aiming for the next 10, 20 years, you know, to the day I die, basically, to bring you Final Fantasy 14.
ありがとうございました。Thank you.
Good panel. Very good. Yeah, I think some of those statements really help ease some people's concerns about the future. Specifically, the talk about focus on large-scale content and better reward system, I think. The people thought there was going to be more. Oh, poor people. All right, well, good stuff. Yeah, that was really nice. So we got a date. June 28th, early access begins. Official release date July 2nd. You know the drill. I will be playing and stream that whole thing that weekend. Maybe I was giving some thought about maybe if whether I'm going to do that again or not, or whatever. We'll have to see. And then you saw the media tour early May, so hopefully we are invited back and get to go. So there'll possibly be a preview for that as well. I have some good questions for Yoshi P. Some new good questions, but also 100% don't get angry. But like after I ask like 4 or 5 normal questions, I'm literally just asking PvP questions. I have been a very good person every other media tour, but like they just don't talk about PvP ever, and we need PvP answers. So I'm carrying the torch for a lot of PvP people. It's like, nope, we're getting more than one question this time. Like you're gonna have to like I'm asking a few. I have a few. Like we'll try and get in a few PvP related questions. Things that will probably be of more interest than just like people who play PvP, obviously. Anyway, that was some good stuff. So I am done for the weekend with this. I will see you all on Tuesday for did they give a date for graphical update? It's Dawntrail. They've been slowly doing some stuff, but like the first big jump will be at the expansion launch. So Zio. So there'll probably be high potential for some issues, like a lot of people trying to log in, cloud servers probably being deployed, and graphical update. So that early access weekend might be interesting as usual, eventful, but yeah, we'll have to see. Get caught up, Casper, before you got April, May, you got 3. That is going to be a lot in 3 months, especially with what's coming out. Also, the most important thing, Yoshi P is being so generous to all of us, letting us have 1 week to finish the Elden Ring DLC. Holy shit. And then, April 2nd, the 16 event begins. So we'll definitely be checking that out that day as well. Very, very excited to see that event. Get those orchestrion rolls, blast that music. Gonna be good stuff. Woo! All right, I am gonna go get some food. Enjoy my day. Have a great weekend, everyone. I have a stray cat hair in my eye that is like causing me some discomfort, but so be it. Take it easy, everyone, and have a great weekend. I'm out. Bye, everyone.